Golden Age Radio is starting now. Subscribe to get future updates.
Hey everybody, get ready for some great shows. Starting out with Cavalcade of America, Lux Theater with some great Hollywood stars, Groucho Marx, one of the best comedians in history, and also followed by the hilarious Red Skelton.
The DuPont Company presents the Cavalcade of America. This evening, the Cavalcade of America, presented by DuPont, brings you a story telling how a courageous clergyman and a physician fought and won a battle that has meant much to the health and happiness of our country. Theirs was a great cause and a great victory, accomplished without thought of personal glory and with noble unselfishness. It is surprising how much we as a nation owe to men whose names we may not recognize, but whose works are part of our very lives. You find such men in all fields: engineering, business, the professions, science, working to create something new, improve something old, always striving to contribute services or products that will make life pleasanter for all of us. The work of these men in chemistry, both the famed and unknown, is aptly described in the pledge of DuPont chemists: better things for better living through chemistry. As an overture, Don Voorhees and the Cavalcade Orchestra will play You Are Love from Jerome Kern's operetta, Showboat. In the early days of our American civilization, the towns of the eastern seaboard had become crowded, especially near the waterfronts. At their wharfs were ships which brought in the produce and wealth of the world, but inevitably they also brought disease and pestilence from foreign lands. One of these dread maladies was smallpox. Each year, thousands of men, women, and children died of this foreign scourge. Those who survived were marked for life. More than one-half the entire population carried the deep, disfiguring scars. In Boston on December 13th, 1707, the famous preacher Cotton Mather is reading in his study.
Who is knocking so loudly, Martha?
It's some of your parishioners to see you, Master Mather.
Ask him to come in.
Yes, Master. He's in the store.
Well, welcome, gentlemen. Martha, bring the gentleman some refreshment.
Yes, Master. At once.
I see all of you are elders and deacons. Is anything wrong in the parish?
No, Cotton Mather. May we not be together at least once, because everything in the parish is good?
Everything good? How can you say that, elder, when we have the smallpox with us?
Oh, the smallpox we have always with us.
The Lord of mercy is also with us, elder. He does not always seem merciful. There is a man on the waterfront down with the smallpox today. Are there any cases here on the hill? Nay, but on the bay where the people live close together, it will spread like fire if the Lord does not protect us. It's important to isolate the sick man. I'll speak to the governor in the morning.
But, Deacon, we didn't come here to bring our preacher this sad news. We have other business today.
What business could be more important than ministering to the body of our sick brother? Unless it be ministering to his soul.
Sometimes it is important to minister to his soul's minister.
Why, have I done wrong? Have I sinned? Indeed, no. In no way, good Master Mather.
It is we who have not done right. You are a strong and busy man, Cotton Mather, but still you have but one pair of legs and one pair of arms. You have the strength of 10, the will of the Lord, but the body of only one man.
We bring you help in the name of the whole parish. Not spiritual help, which is granted you from above, but physical help, which you must have on earth.
In short, we bring you this Negro slave to be arms and legs and a good, strong back for you.
Here, slave, is your new master.
Yes, master.
My brothers, what have I done to deserve this? There is not paper enough in Boston to write all that down.
We do not mean that the slave settles the debt we owe you, brother, but take him as a trifle on account.
I'll take him with humble thanks and gratitude to you all. But this slave is no trifle, gentlemen. He is a man. He has a soul as well as a body. Therefore, any debt you feel I'm owed, I am paid full.
Even in your thanks, you teach us, Cotton Mather.
In wisdom, you pay us back more than we bring. We're in your debt again, Brother Mather.
He is a good slave, Master Mather, and will serve you well. And now we must go. It is late.
Oh, a cup of rum first, gentlemen. It is raw and cold outdoors. You'll need a cup to warm you on your way. I'll place them on the table, Martha.
Yes, sir. I have them ready.
Here you are, Elder.
Thank you.
And you, Deacon.
Thank you. Your health, Cotton Mather, and a long life.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
And so to bed. Good night, brother. Sleep you well.
The Lord be with you, brethren, and many thanks.
The Lord be with you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, Martha.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, so now I am master of a slave, and I have not yet learned to be master of myself. Come here, lad.
Master?
Oh, no. Don't bend the knee to me. Come here.
Yes, Master.
What is your name?
Onesimus.
Onesimus. Let me have a good look at you, Onesimus. Well, you're not pockmarked. Have you never had the smallpox?
No. Me gourmandise.
Gourmandise? Oh, yes. From the west coast of Africa. But doesn't your tribe get smallpox?
No get smallpox, Master.
But why don't they get it? How do they escape the pox?
We escape pox by Hogum Cross.
Well, speak out plainly, man. I don't like riddles.
Me see smallpox. Me take smallpox quick right way. Me give smallpox to me quick.
Oh, that's inoculation. I've heard of it being practiced in Eastern Europe, in Turkey. You take pustules from someone who has the pox, put them into a scratch you've made on your own arm or leg. Isn't that what you mean?
Yes, master.
I've always wanted to investigate it myself. Tell me, it gives pain?
Sometime.
It gives smallpox?
Sometime, often, but just in cut. No pock on body. No marks on face. Pox where me give it to me. Look, see. Here on arm. Here on leg.
Yes. You do it often?
Do it once. Wait long time. Then more maybe. Once bad here on arm. No much bad no more.
And you've never been sick with fever?
No. Even if me live where a white man die, me no get sick.
By heaven. My parish has brought me a ministering angel. I can show you as an example.
You have thing for me to do, master?
Yes. Go down to the waterfront quickly. There is a man there with the pox. Find him. Get it for me. Bring it back. You shall give it to me at once, in a cut, as you did to yourself.
You not afraid?
Of course I'm afraid. But you show me that disease may not always be the will of God. Sometimes it may be the work of the devil. Go get me the pox and give it to me.
But white man and black man not same thing. Maybe you get killed, maybe you die.
Go. Do as I say. Then we'll see.
No. No, me afraid.
Poor fellow. So am I. But I mean to try this. I'll see no blame comes to you. You do as I say.
Yes, master.
Then go. Bring me the pox. Quickly.
Yes, master. I go.
And the Lord go with you. And abide with me.
Cotton Mather, always a pioneer, inoculated himself with pustules taken from a smallpox sufferer. He escaped having smallpox. That epidemic died down, but in 1721, smallpox appeared again in Boston. It had been brought by a ship from the Tortugas. By June, it had reached terrifying proportions. It threatened to decimate the whole colony. Preacher Cotton Mather, who had successfully inoculated himself against smallpox 14 years before, realized that something must be done. A friend of his, Dr. Zebdiel Boylston, lived in nearby town Muddy River, later called Brookline. Boylston was more than a practicing physician. He was a perpetual student. Mather succeeded in interesting him in inoculation as a preventive. On June 26, 1721, Cotton Mather strides into Dr. Boylston's study.
Brother Boylston?
Cotton Mather. Well, this is a surprise and a pleasure. What good fortune brings you to Muddy River?
No good fortune. It is bad fortune, Brother Boylston. Very bad fortune.
Smallpox is worse?
It is everywhere.
What's being done?
Nothing. The people are more afraid of something new than they are of the smallpox. As though there were merit in the pox, just because it is familiar and old.
You've convinced me of this. There is only one thing to be done. We must inoculate as many people as we can.
Of course. Just as I inoculated myself. That is why I've come to you. Perhaps you can persuade the physicians of Boston.
I doubt it.
3 weeks ago, I circulated an open letter, urging them to inoculate.
I suppose they laughed at you?
Laughed? Why, they threatened me.
Good.
Good? Why do you say that?
If they had laughed, it would have been hopeless. But when they threaten you, they know in their hearts you are right and they wrong.
But they take no precautions. Just shrug their shoulders and say, the plague must run its course. I tell you, Doctor, something must be done. You must start inoculating.
But if the patient is unwilling, it's against the law.
Then we must set an example. If we are immune, others will try it. When we have patience enough, it will be a law.
Where can we begin? No one's with us, not one.
We'll begin as I did, on ourselves. I tried it. No harm came to me.
Yes, you tried it 3 times without even a bad pustule. I tell you, Brother Mather, any doctor could claim that you just naturally don't get the disease. You had been exposed to the pox often without taking it. You told me so.
But you?
I've had it. Inoculation of myself would be no proof.
Then we must try it on some other.
Who?
Our slaves must submit. We can inoculate them.
We can never make the people on the hill believe that they are like their slaves.
Then we must find a volunteer. Someone who has never had the pox.
But who? That's the question. Who?
I don't know.
Father.
Quiet, son. Do you not see I'm talking with someone?
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't see you, sir.
How are you, Thomas?
I'm very well, Mr. Mather. But there'd be many people who are powerful sick. They say the smallpox...
Thomas, what do you know of the pox?
Father, everybody knows about the pox. Broken out in the village.
What?
How do you know?
I've been there just now. There are 7 cases.
Who are they?
Oh, Miller Jackson is down with it, and Zeb Wiley, the butcher, and his wife.
The butcher?
Thomas, weren't you and your brother playing with Miller's boys only yesterday?
Well, yes, John and I play with them every day.
You hear that, Cotton Mather? My boys. My own boys.
There lies the answer to our question, brother.
What? Oh, yes, I see. My son. Well, the time has come. We must make a sacrifice.
Yes. You have been called.
It is hard to do, Brother Mather. Still, I must do it. But I have no pustules.
I have brought some with me. Here.
But I have 2 sons.
Abram took his eldest.
Aye, so he did. Do you mind if we're alone together?
Of course. I'll wait in the next room. The Lord be with thee.
Thomas, come here, son.
Yes, Father.
You are a good, strong boy. Are you also brave?
Yes, Father, I hope so.
Would you give your life to save your fellow men?
Yes, of course I would.
Now think carefully, Thomas. You know very little about death.
But, Father, what's the matter? Is anything wrong?
No, for I think you are really brave. You will risk your life for your friends.
I jumped into the mill race once to save Tim Jackson.
Yes, but that's easy to do. You have only to act and forget the risk. This is different. This is the risk of fatal sickness, of smallpox.
You mean maybe I've caught the pox already?
No, maybe you haven't. You may be hale and hearty and well, but I want you to let me give it to you in modified form.
But why, Father? I've never been sick a day.
You may not be sick a day even now, but we want to make sure.
We?
Cotton Mather and I. We believe that smallpox will not attack anyone who was inoculated in time.
Are you sure?
No, we're not sure. That's what we want to find out.
On me?
Yes, son.
All right, Father. I'm ready.
Roll up your sleeve, Thomas.
What are you going to do with that knife, Father?
First, I'll pass it with the flame of this candle here. Purify it. Then dip it into this pustule.
Then cut my arm with it?
No, just a few scratches, son.
Will it hurt?
A little, but a brave boy wouldn't notice it. Are you ready, Thomas?
I'll hold still, Father.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth.
In a few days, Thomas was ill, but he recovered shortly, and there was not a single mark on his whole body except where he had been scratched for the inoculation. Dr. Boylston inoculated his son John and several of his patients. All recovered. Meanwhile, the epidemic spread in Boston and extended to surrounding towns and villages. Cotton Mather preached again the popular ignorance and superstition that prevented the salvation of the body from this disease. But opposition was too strong for him. His enemies organized. On November 3rd, Cotton Mather and his friend Dr. Boylston were brought before the selectmen of the town of Boston. In the assemblage is a selectman whose name is not recorded in history. We shall call him John Williams.
Order! 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 Will somebody close the window? We can hardly hear ourselves think in here.
You cannot hear yourself think because you're not thinking.
That's better. Cotton Mather, this is the 3rd time you and Dr. Boylston have been brought before us. You have flouted our warnings. It will go hard with you.
It goes hard with the people of Boston. While you sit and talk, they die.
Cotton Mather,
We have been patient.
We have respected your holy office, but we cannot ignore the clamor of the citizens of Boston.
Has anyone brought a specific charge against us? Yes, the night watch. He declares that at about 3 in the morning, somebody threw a bomb through a window of your house.
That is true. But if I don't complain, why should any other? Besides, it did not explode.
But that iron grenade was half full of dry powder. The other half was filled with oil. Now, had it burst, it would have set fire to your house. It might have burned half the town.
The Lord was merciful.
It is an order of this Council of Selectmen that you stop advocating this wicked practice of giving people the smallpox by inoculation. It is our command, you understand?
I am a minister of the gospel, and I am doing the will of one whose hand is mightier than yours.
You dare defy us?
I dare not defy him, who sent me to minister to the sick.
Why, it is even reported you gave the smallpox inoculation to your own boy, and that he nearly died of it.
Yes. But doubtless he had already contracted the disease before we inoculated him. His roommate at the college died of smallpox the same day. Oh, brethren, how can you be so wicked as to let the people of Boston suffer and die from this terrible disease when it can so easily be prevented?
But how do you know? You are only a preacher.
Yes. Very well. Let Dr. Boylston speak then.
Gentlemen,
I am a physician. The success of inoculation is a fact.
How can you prove that, Dr. Boylston?
I have kept careful record of every case that has come within my knowledge for 14 years.
And is it not true that 6 people inoculated by you have died?
Yes, Master William. But at least 4 had contracted the disease in the common way before inoculation. The other 2 are doubtful. Those who escaped, all the rest, were nearly 300.
Surely you cannot stop noble and humane work from going on. But is it not true that you learned of this dark practice from your African servant?
Yes, that is true.
I had heard of it before. It has been practiced in Turkey. But my slave reminded me of it. That is true.
But the Turks and your slave are heathen. It is a heathen practice.
Yes, a heathen practice.
What of it?
Ah, there we have you. Is it not unlawful for us to learn of the heathen?
Yes. John Williams, are you not a tobacconist?
Aye, but that has nothing
Your whole business depends on the heathen. For you get your tobacco from the Indian, and you learn the habit of using it from them.
And our people learned how to cure snake bite from the Indians.
And they taught you how to raise sweet corn and cook and eat it, too.
And all the physicians of antiquity were what you call heathen. Every one. Most of what we know we learned from them.
What say you to that, Master Chairman?
Well, what do you expect me to do? I dare not make inoculation lawful, even if I should approve of it.
Let those who believe come to us and be saved.
Dr. Boylston, will you keep records and be answerable to us for the consequences?
Yes.
Even with your life?
Gentlemen, I risk my life every hour I'm with the sick. It is nothing to offer to you who are well.
Then go about your work. But if you fail...
I shall not fail.
If only we could appeal to the people. Inoculate some leader who is in the public eye. Someone who shares their doubt and superstition.
You are a convict, eh?
Yes. Say, someone who has stood against us. Like yourself.
Not me. I'm still against.
Dr. Boylston, you say your records show complete recovery for all those known to be in perfect health.
Without exception, Master Williams.
It must be a dangerous and fearsome thing to put a well person in danger of his life.
It is a great ordeal, even with a stranger. Cotton Mather and I have done it with our own children.
And they have lived?
All of them.
Preacher Mather, you were looking for a public victim.
A public benefactor, not a victim.
Very well. You may use me.
Why? Master Williams, Master Chairman, may I announce that to the crowd below?
You may. Open the window there.
People of Boston, my brethren.
Here, Father, speak.
The selectmen of Boston have listened to Dr. Boylston and to me. They have agreed that it is for each man to decide for himself how he shall deal with smallpox by inoculation. And as an example to the more sensible of you, one of their number offers to prove that fear of the inoculation is nothing compared with the ravages of the disease itself. Today,
Today, Dr. Boylston will give smallpox by inoculation to Selectman John Williams by his own request. John Williams, the tobacco dealer! 3 cheers! Aye! John Williams! The voice of the people is divided, Brother Mather. It is always divided. The voice of God is not so loud, but when it enters into the hearts of men, it brings them life everlasting.
The selectmen who volunteered to be inoculated helped to prove Cotton Mather's point by resisting smallpox. So the citizens of Boston were given the freedom to save themselves from disease and to be saved through inoculation. The idea caught on slowly with the public, but now, due to the courage and faith of these noble men, vaccination is recognized and accepted throughout the country, and smallpox is practically unknown in America. All honor and praise to these pioneers in public health, leaders in the Cavalcade of America.
In view of the current interest in employee welfare and pension plans, I'd like to give you some interesting facts which appear in the DuPont Company's annual report for 1936. Our company has long recognized that the welfare of its employees is of paramount importance. Here are a few of the plans which the DuPont Company has maintained for some time. Group life insurance at no cost to employees. This plan has been in force 18 years and is paid on 2,409 policies, benefits amounting to more than $3,316,000. At the close of last year, there were over 40,000 eligible employees holding policies at no cost to them, aggregating $50,443,000. Group accident and health insurance. This plan has been in force for 7 years. DuPont pays part of the premiums so that the cost to employees is very low. At the close of 1936, there were 96% of eligible employees holding policies. The benefit plan in force for 28 years. This provides assistance to long-service employees who are unable to be on the job for certain periods of time on account of illness or other disability. The pension plan. The DuPont pension plan has been in force for 32 years, since 1905. Last year, more than $610,000 was paid to retired employees. At the close of 1936, there were 912 former employees on the rolls. Additional information on these and other phases of the DuPont Company's activities have been included in an illustrated leaflet containing facts from the annual report for 1936. As announced last week, if you would like a copy, we shall be very happy to send you one. Simply address DuPont, Wilmington, Delaware, and ask for a leaflet entitled Better Things for Better Living. The story of Lillian Nordica, episodes in the life of the great American prima donna, will be the subject of our broadcast when next week at this same time, DuPont again presents The Cavalcade of America. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR, brought to you by G3PL.com.
From Hollywood Hollywood, California, the Lux Radio Theater presents George Arliss in The Man Who Played God with Florence Arliss and Dolores Costello.
Lux presents Hollywood. Welcome to the Lux Radio Theater, the theater made possible by your loyal purchases of Lux Flakes and Lux Toilet Soap. In the hour to follow, you will be entertained by George Arliss, Florence Arliss, Dolores Costello, Elizabeth Risden, and Ivan Simpson. And acting on the air, Mr. Arliss' great screen triumph, The Man Who Played God, from the play by Jules Eckert Goodman, based on the story by Gouverneur Morris. Our guest is the man Hollywood has just selected as the outstanding film director of the past year, Mr. Leo McCarey, who, less than 2 weeks ago, received the Academy Award for his direction of The Awful Truth. Conducting our orchestra is Louis Silvers. This program is produced by one of Hollywood's most famous citizens and pioneers. Your host, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille. Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most flattering sensations in life is to be asked for advice. One immediately assumes a dignified thoughtfulness and prepares to blossom forth with opinions. But for me, the dispensing of advice is no longer the delight it once was. For I have a little ghost that haunts me, with an occasional reminder that I once advised George Arliss that I didn't think he'd have much of a chance in motion pictures. Long before Mr. Arliss became famous, he was acting at a combined dramatic school and theater at Margate, England. There he took notice of a girl who seemed to go out of her way to ignore him. One afternoon, to escape from a drenching downpour, Mr. Arliss dashed into the dark and empty theater and found that the young lady had preceded him. They looked at each other. They began to talk. And out of the rain and darkness, a kind of magic was distilled. At the end of 4 minutes, he'd proposed, and the girl had accepted. George Arliss and Florence Montgomery have been married now for 39 years. Mr. Arliss' tremendous success in plays like the Darling of the Gods, Disraeli, The Green Goddess, are theatrical history. The most successful of these, Disraeli, started off as a failure. In one large city, they knew Disraeli was a man, but couldn't remember whether he was in the Old Testament or the New. In another, when Mr. Arliss injured his arm, he played the role for more than 10 weeks with his wrist in a sling, greatly amused at overhearing people say, "Why, I never knew that Disraeli had only one arm." To which someone usually answered, "Oh, yes, Disraeli always carried his right arm in a sling." Tonight, Mr. Arliss plays the role of Montgomery Royal in our adaptation of his brilliant Warner Brothers film, The Man Who Played God. Dolores Costello is featured as Grace Blair and Mrs. Arliss as Mildred Miller. You will also hear Elizabeth Risden as Florence and Ivan Simpson as Battle in the Lux Radio Theater production, The Man Who Played God, starring George Arliss. Suite in Paris. The handsomely furnished rooms are the temporary quarters of Montgomery Royal, the famous American pianist. It's the afternoon of his last recital in France, and his sister Florence is feverishly sorting the day's mail. Battle, an elderly retainer who acts as a combined secretary and valet to the pianist, opens the doorway and stands there with a handful of mail.
More mail, Miss Royal.
More? Oh, this is getting out of hand, Battle.
Yes, miss.
May I come in? Mildred, of course. How are you, Florence? Good afternoon, Battle.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Miller.
Sit down, Mildred. I'm just trying to get through this mail. There seems to be a great deal of it. I suppose they are Monty's love letters. From adoring French women and hundreds of requests for seats for tonight's concert.
Oh, what lovely roses. Are these from adoring French women also?
No, Grace brought those.
Grace Blair?
Yes.
Oh, an adoring American woman. Where is Monty? He ought to be resting.
Resting? Did you ever know him to rest when he ought to? He's out walking with Grace. She called with those flowers, so he's taken her out to buy her a doll or something.
A doll? You sure it wasn't a ring?
Mildred, what are you talking about? Grace is only a child.
A child of 25?
I come to think of it, Grace must be nearly 25.
Florence, don't you ever see anything that goes on under your nose? Don't you know she's in love with Monty?
Oh, that's nothing. What about all these letters?
But he doesn't give those people private music lessons.
Mildred, I believe you're jealous.
Yes, I believe I am.
I wouldn't worry. Monty's too level-headed to fall for a sweet young thing at his age. Of course, you should have married Monty years ago if you'd had any sense.
But I hadn't.
Well, you're an eligible widow now. It's not too late yet.
Florence, there's one very good reason why I haven't married Monty, and I needn't tell you what it is.
He hasn't asked you? Well, perhaps he hasn't thought of it. Why don't you remind him?
But they recognized you, Monty. Those girls we just passed.
Nonsense, my dear.
Is it? Well, they've turned around, and here they come.
Quick, get in the hotel, Grace.
Monsieur Hall, je vous ai reconnu tout de suite. Vous êtes pianiste. Je vous ai entendu jouer beaucoup de fois. Vous allez signer nos livres, n'est-ce pas, monsieur?
Oui, yes.
Votre musique est si merveilleuse. Mon ami et moi, nous avons des livres pour la signature. Je vous en prie, monsieur.
Yeah, excuse me. Come on, Grace. Through the lobby, no stopping.
Why do you pretend you don't speak French, Monty?
It saves answering questions. Look, there's Harold Van Allen waving to us. Hello, Harold.
Hello, Monty. I'm coming to your concert tonight. May I take you, Grace?
I'm going with Florence, thank you.
Well, you can join the party, Harold. Well, au revoir. Come on, Grace. The elevator's waiting.
Monsieur Royal. Monsieur Royal.
Oh, no.
Trapped again. Oh, Monsieur Royal. Je vous ai attendu pour vous saluer.
Oui,
je désirais tant vous voir. J'irai vous applaudir ce soir, naturellement. Monsieur, vous êtes un artiste si merveilleux. Et je vous ai entendu si souvent que...
Excuse me, je ne comprendrai le French. Excuse me.
Oh, but I speak English, too.
Oh. Oh, do you?
You remember me, do you not? I crossed on the Olympia with you in 1931. Madame Lavelle.
Madame Lavelle. Oh, yes, of course. How do you do?
Ah, monsieur, it is easy to see the young lady is related to you. I saw the likeness at once.
Really, yes. My granddaughter.
Indeed. But I thought you were not married.
No, I wasn't then. No, not in 1931. But I'm so glad you like her. Come along, Grace, my dear. Going up. Oui, monsieur.
Monty, why did you tell that woman I was your granddaughter?
My dear Grace, you must give the public what they want. She wanted you to be my granddaughter.
She didn't. She was just fishing. Besides, you know how terribly young you look.
Yes, terrible is the word.
Mr. Royal.
Hello, Battle. Come in, Grace.
We were wondering about you, sir.
Thank you, Battle.
Ah, Monty, here you are.
Hello, my dear. We just had a nice, quiet stroll along the boulevard. Not a soul recognizes us.
Not more than 50 or 100. Hello, Monty.
Mildred, dear. Nice to find you here.
Just a flying visit. Good afternoon, Miss Blair. Good afternoon, Mrs. Miller.
Grace, you know, is my protege. All great musicians must have a protege. So I thought I might as well have a good look out.
You also have a sister who's been working her fingers to the bone.
Ah, but look how I have to work mine on the bones tonight. Smiting the ivories, hip and thigh.
Well, good luck to you tonight, Monty.
Oh, don't go yet, Mildred. I need your advice, as usual.
Well, what is it?
I want you to see this drawing that's come from the architect. Ah, yes, here it is. Don't you think that's a lovely setting for a church organ? There's the inscription.
To the glory of God and the memory of Margaret Ruth Royal. To the memory of your mother.
I'm going to have it built in the little church in New York that she always attended. What do you think of it?
It's beautiful.
Good. You know, she was always conscious of the vibrations of the church organ, in spite of her deafness. You remember, Florence, how it affected her? We used often to see the tears come into her eyes.
I didn't know your mother was deaf.
Yes, quite early in life. It's a family inheritance. Her father and his father before him. A terrible inheritance. I think she'd like my giving this organ to the church.
I beg your pardon, sir. I think you ought to rest.
One moment. I've got something rather exciting to tell you all. It's about a king.
King?
You know, I was going home a week ago when I suddenly decided to give this concert.
Yes?
Well, that was because I was commanded to give it by a real live king.
Nobody can command you. You're a king yourself.
Well, then he approached me as one king to another and asked me to give one more concert that he might attend incognito.
But why must he come in secret?
I'm not sure, but I've heard that there have been some recent attempts on his life.
Heavens, Monty, I hope nothing will happen at the concert.
There's an unfeeling woman for you. A king's life in danger, and all she thinks of is the incidental music.
Well, I really must go. I'll see you tonight, Monty.
Come back to my dressing room after the concert.
Very well. Let me see you to the door. Goodbye.
Until this evening. Oh, Grace? What are you looking so solemn about?
You'd better say goodbye to me, too. I won't see you again.
Yes, you will. I'm not going till tomorrow.
But I won't see you alone.
Oh, well, there may be a king or two present, but...
Don't make fun of me, Monty. I won't be able to follow you to New York for a month.
Won't you? Well, mind you practice 5 hours a day.
I can learn more from you in 5 minutes than from anyone else in 5 years.
You love music, don't you?
I love you. Monty, I love you.
Grace, my dear child.
I'm not a child.
Foolish. I'm old enough to be your... You know I'm your grandfather.
I don't care how old you are. I love you.
No, dear, you don't. You love music. You love the successful pianist, not me. Paris has got into your blood. Everybody gets romantic in Paris.
But I'm not just romantic, Monty. I'm in earnest.
Wait till you get back to New York. You'll feel quite different.
Will you try me?
Try you?
If I come to you in 6 months and say I love you, will you marry me?
Well, but...
don't you love me at all?
Of course I love you. But I'm old and easily flattered. How can I help loving you?
Then you will?
What?
If I come to you in 6 months, you'll marry me?
If you look at me with those beautiful eyes, I may not be able to resist you.
Don't beat about the bush. Say yes.
But...
Say yes.
Yes.
Oh, Monty, darling.
This way, madame. The seat going forward.
What a crowd. Isn't it marvelous?
Do you see anybody who looks like a king?
Our 4 seats aren't together. Harold, will you take care of Grace?
With pleasure.
No, I'll sit with you, Florence.
Oh, no, you won't. You young people will sit together. You come with me, Mildred.
Well, we might as well sit down, Grace. May I take your wrap?
Thank you, Harold. Oh, I believe I'm excited.
You seem to be. After Mr. Royal sails tomorrow, I suppose I may have a chance to see something of you.
What do you mean? You're always seeing me.
I'm always calling to see you, but you're generally otherwise engaged.
Harold, don't start that again. I want to listen to the music.
Well, there isn't any music yet. Why do you carry those enormous race glasses?
I like to watch the movement of his fingers. There he is.
Ooh, Katie?
No. What an ovation.
Really the greatest. I've never heard him better. He's perfectly wonderful.
No.
I wonder where is Mr. Roy's dressing.
I am sorry, madame. Mr. Royal never sees anyone.
I'm so sorry.
Shut the door, Battle. Don't let anyone in.
Yes, sir.
Monty!
Oh, come in quickly.
Monty, you were marvelous tonight.
Thank you, Grace.
How did the king enjoy it?
The king, dear lady, didn't turn up. Court manners, I suppose.
Then Mr. King really missed something. I've never heard you so inspired.
Mildred, that's my very nicest compliment. Thank you.
Monty, there are at least 100 autograph books for you to sign.
Let Battle do it. His handwriting is so much better than mine. And then get behind that piano, Battle, and shoot anyone who calls me maestro.
Monsieur Royal?
Yes?
His Majesty the King.
Your Majesty.
Maestro.
Never mind, Battle. Excuse me, Your Majesty.
I hope you will forgive me.
Your Majesty was busy.
Busy? My aide can tell you how busy.
His Majesty's car broke down, monsieur. It was unavoidable.
I am overwhelmed with shame. And I would have given my ears to have heard you play once again the Moonlight Sonata.
Would you? Well, if Your Majesty will lend me your ears, you shall hear it now.
That is generous of you.
Will you be seated, Your Majesty?
Thank you. Thank you.
Your Majesty, a bomb!
Stand back, everybody! Get away from that window! Hey, look out!
Thank God there was nobody below.
Your Majesty, are you all right?
Yes, but Monsieur Royal, he is unhurt, Your Majesty. He saved my life. Monsieur Royal. Monsieur, I owe my life to you. How can I ever thank you?
Your Majesty will forgive me, but I can't hear what you're saying.
What?
Monsieur Royal.
Monty, what is it?
There's no sound. Nothing.
Monty, what are you saying? It's the shock.
I shall never play again.
Don't say that. Don't look like that.
Mildred, my dear, I'm stone deaf, just as my mother was.
We have finished the first act of The Man Who Played God. And in a moment, George Arliss and our co-stars will be back in Act Two. But during our brief intermission, we'd like you to come along with us to an amusing place where everybody speaks in rhyme, even the judges, the lawyers, and prisoners in the courts of law. We take you to a courtroom in this strange land of rhyme right now. Here we are, in the presence of a jury and a defendant, and the judge is about to enter.
Court will come to order. The judge is coming in.
Bring the prisoner to the bar. Young woman, what's your sin?
Your Honor, I don't think it's bad, but goodness, I am blue. My husband gets so angry, and so I've come to you.
This court is here to listen to crimes against society.
My husband says my hands are a crime against propriety. He says they look so wrinkled and so old and rough and red because I wash the dishes. That's not half of what he said.
Now let's take up the problem. You wash dishes every day? Oh, why not eat on paper plates, then throw them far away?
Why, that's all right for picnics or a quick informal bite. But when dishes are attractive, to keep them too inactive, well, of course I really might. But do you think it would be right to keep them out of sight?
That's a sticker. Now let's see. Rough hands spoil tater-tates. Suppose you have your dinner and just not wash the plate.
Your Honor, I'm a housewife. My home is always clean. I wouldn't dream of such a thing. Oh, all you men are mean.
Now, don't speak like that to me, my dear.
I'm sorry.
Now listen here. I've now got information on the cause of your mistakes. I put you on probation to wash dishes with Lux Flakes. Every wife of every station can now avoid heartaches, keep hands from ruination by using mild Lux Flakes.
His Honor is right. To keep your hands white, get Lux Flakes tonight. You see, this rhyming business is contagious, but so is the use of Lux Flakes for dishes. Women who try it are so delighted with it that they tell other women. You, too, will find Lux not only makes dishwashing quicker and easier, but keeps your hands lovely, soft, and white. The kind of hands men admire, the kind that every woman wants to have. Use Lux Flakes for dishes. And now, Mr. DeMille.
The Man Who Played God, starring George Arliss with Florence Arliss and Dolores Costello. 5 long months have passed, and Monty has learned that his case is hopeless, that he will never hear again. Embittered, he shuts himself away from the world, seeing only 3 people, his sister and Grace and the man who instructs him in lip reading. In his New York City penthouse, high above Central Park, he's receiving his final lesson from the instructor.
And now, Mr. Royal, I'm going to give you the final test. Yes? I'm going to place my fingers almost over my lips and see if you can read what I say. Go on.
From that window, I can see the people walking in Central Park.
What did I say? From that window, I can see the people walking in Central Park. Good. How did you get that? Mainly from the muscles of your throat and jaw. Well done. Try again.
The flowers are blooming, the sun is shining, and God's in his heaven.
The flowers are blooming, the sun is shining, and God's in his heaven.
Splendid. Well, you're a remarkable student, Mr. Royal.
Thank you.
I'm afraid there's no use of my coming anymore.
I shall be sorry to lose you.
Impress on your friends not to try to help you by mouthing their words. They'll only mislead you.
I don't allow many visitors.
No? You should. Goodbye. Oh, Mr. Royal. Try not to be irritable. And don't try to fight against fate.
Ah, you're not a musician.
No, I'm a philosopher. Goodbye.
What's the use of it? Words, yes. But no music. No music.
Monty.
Oh, it's you, Florence. Why don't you come straight in instead of creeping up behind me and pushing me?
I'm so sorry.
You and Battle are always talking behind my back. Why can't I be left alone? I know perfectly well I'm a millstone around your neck, but you needn't make me conscious of it every moment.
Monty.
Oh. Grace come yet?
No, but Mildred is here. You wish to see her?
No. Yes. I should like to see Mildred.
Come in, dear. Monty.
Well, Mildred, this is my den. The lion's den, you know.
Florence.
Sit down.
How do I speak to him to make him understand? Do I speak loud or slow or how?
Speak naturally, that's all. I can understand you.
You heard what I said?
No. I didn't hear. I read your lips.
Read my lips? How wonderful. Oh, Monty.
Why are you crying? Because you find me changed, eh? Haven't I good reason to be changed? But I'm glad you've come. I've missed you. I've often wished to talk to you during these 5 silent months.
You didn't answer my letters.
I knew you only wrote because you were sorry for me.
You should know me better than that, Monty.
But I can talk to you. You've always... Mildred, you believe in God?
Yes.
I've been studying the Bible lately. Listen. It says here, are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 farthings, and not one of them is forgotten before God? You believe that?
Yes.
If he knows everything, why does he let such horrible things happen?
Monty.
You'd only left me my music. Mildred, I've withdrawn my promise for the church organ.
Why?
Because I won't be a hypocrite. He struck at me. He struck at my mother. Why should I glorify his name?
Perhaps someday you'll learn why. I can't believe that he makes mistakes.
Mildred, the Bible is a great book, but I'll tell you what it has taught me. There is no God.
You who were so tender, so good.
There is no God.
You shut yourself up here and brood on your affliction. Do you know where this will lead you?
Yes, to madness. I thought of that, and how easy it would be to end it all. I've thought of that, too.
Don't say those things. Monty, you've never had to test yourself before.
Test myself?
I'm not speaking of music. I'm speaking of life. You've had everything. Wealth, talent, social position, but you've never really suffered. A man who has never suffered has never lived.
This is not suffering. This is a living death.
It's your first great test. Are you going to fail? Are you? Hello. Oh, Mrs. Miller. Good afternoon, Grace. I'm so glad to see you. What do you think of Monty?
Stop that. I won't have anybody ask what they think of me. I know what they think of me.
He's a bad child sometimes. Sit down, Mrs. Miller.
I was just going, Grace.
Oh, don't let me turn you out. He sees too much of me, you know.
But I must go. Goodbye, Monty.
Goodbye. Thank you for coming.
How are you today, Monty?
Why do you say I see too much of you? You know I look forward to your coming.
Monty, you make it very hard for me to say goodbye.
Goodbye?
You knew I was going to Santa Barbara, to the Chittendens. I'm leaving tonight.
But I thought you were leaving tomorrow, Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday, dear.
Oh, is it? Well, one day's so much like another to me. Well, I've lost a day. That's some consolation.
I feel terribly about leaving you. If I hadn't promised...
Of course you must go. You need a change.
Why should I need a change?
Too much of me. Beginning to tell on you.
Monty.
Why are you carrying those field glasses? You going to the races?
No, not exactly. Mother and I are... Oh, Monty, you know how I love the piano. We were going to the concert this afternoon. Do you mind?
Mine?
It's the first recital I've been to since yours. Does it seem rather heartless for me to go?
Why shouldn't you? You are taking these glasses to watch the fingering. I remember. You used to watch mine.
Yes, I always watched yours. Oh, I don't think I can bear it. I won't take them.
Nonsense. Why not? Anyone else going with you?
No. Oh, yes, I think Harold Van Allen is going to be there.
Oh. He's a nice young fellow, don't you think so?
Harold? He's all right.
Well, I won't keep you. Have a nice holiday in Santa Barbara. I quite envy you.
Why don't you come?
No, thank you. I might read their lips too freely and find out what they say about me. No, thank you. I suppose there'll be a crowd.
Oh, just old friends, I expect.
Van Allen's an old friend of theirs, isn't he?
Yes, I believe he is.
Suppose he'll be there.
Harold? I shouldn't be surprised.
Grace, you know, if you turn your head away, I can't tell what you're saying. Will Harold Van Allen be there?
Yes. Monty, do you remember what I said that day in Paris? I meant it, Monty. I mean it now.
I know. Goodbye, my dear. Enjoy yourself.
I'll see you the moment I come back. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mr. Royal, won't you come away from the window, sir? I'm afraid you'll catch cold there. You'll catch cold with the window open, sir.
I was looking down into the street. There's a fascination about height battles. I don't wonder at people giving way to sudden impulse.
Mr. Royal.
What's the matter?
Nothing, sir. I was about to suggest, Mr. Royal, if you'd only try to play again. It's so long since you've touched the piano and your violin.
Play again. I wonder if I could.
Sit down, sir. Try it again, just once.
If I touch these keys, there'll be music in this room. Music. I can't do it. I can't. To strike the notes and hear no sound. Ghostly. Terrifying. Battle! Have these things taken away. And my violin. I can't bear the sight of them.
Mr. Royal, if
Don't argue with me. You want to drive me mad? Don't you know that these things are human to me? And they're mocking me, mocking me. Get this piano out of the house. And this, my violin. We've played together, you and I. Well, we'll never play again.
Mr. Royal.
That was foolish of me. Why did I do that? My violin. My old friend. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I've taken your life. I've taken your... That all?
Yes, Mr. Royal.
I want to be left alone.
Alone, sir?
Yes, alone. Go.
Yes. Yes.
No sound. No voices. Nothing but silence. Forever. The silence of the tomb. The silence of the tomb.
Mr. Royal! Mr. Royal, come down from that window, sir. Oh, Mr. Royal, for God's sake.
Why did you stop me? I've nothing to live for.
You've everything to live for.
Tell me one thing. One reason why I should live.
For others, for those who love you.
I'm a burden to those that love me.
That's not true.
You think I'm blind as well as deaf? Don't I see you all groaning and suffering for me?
Because you suffer too. We've tried to help you.
Can you give me my music?
No. Nobody can do that. But there are other things. You're thinking only of yourself. It's cowardly of you, that's what it is. You're a man, and you're supposed to have a man's strength. You ought to set an example of courage to other deaf people, not turn tail and sneak out of the world. You're a coward, a beastly coward.
A coward?
Mr. Royal, forgive me.
A coward. And I thought it took a great deal of courage to do what I was about to do. But you're right. It's easier to die than to live.
Don't ever try to do that again. There's so much beauty in the world.
And so much that is ugly and brutal.
The trees and the flowers in the park. Look at them, sir. Nature's beautiful.
But its workings are cruel. I see no guiding hand, no method, no meaning.
Here, look through these field glasses, sir. The flowers. You can almost count the petals through these. Look, sir. Look.
Yes. Trees and flowers and cripples and beggars. Hunger and strife and flowers in hopeless confusion. How absurd to believe in a merciful God.
But there's joy and happiness, too. You can't have just one thing. It's contrast that makes life so wonderful.
Yes. There's sickness, too. There's a young fellow walking down there. Looks as though he hasn't long to live. The girl's got hold of his arm. These are very strong glasses. Very strong lenses. I can read their lips.
What are they saying, sir?
You want me to be an eavesdropper, Bettle?
I want you to see and understand the misfortunes of others. Troubles that are worse than your own, sir.
They're sitting on the bench. He's telling her that what the doctor has just told him. He has to go away. A long rest. There's no money. The girl holds his hand. She's crying a little. It'll cost at least $1,000. There's your god of contrast, Battle. This boy's going to die like a neglected dog because he hasn't $1,000. It's a wonderful world for some people.
It would be for him, sir, if only...
If only he had the money. If he had $1,000. If he had... Battle.
Yes, sir?
I want you to take a note down of that boy and girl.
Take a note, sir.
Sit down and write it.
Yes, sir. Ready, sir?
If you'll give the bearer your name and address...
If you will give the bearer your name...
I can't figure it any other way, darling. I need 1,000. There's no chance of getting it. I guess that's all.
No, I won't let you say that. There must be a way. There must be.
I don't see how. We can't get married. I guess we never will now.
Oh, Ed.
It's tough on you, honey. Tougher on you than on me.
Don't say anything. Don't speak, Ed.
What is it, honey?
I'm praying, Ed. Praying to God. Maybe I won't be hurt.
Honey.
I'm praying to him now. Dear God.
Honey, don't. It's no use. It's just the way things are. He can't help us.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah? What is it?
I have a note for you.
For me?
Yes.
But you don't know who I am.
Will you read it, please?
What does it say?
If you will give the bearer your name and address, the person who has overheard your conversation will take pleasure in sending you the $1,000.
Ed!
But how could anyone have overheard? There was nobody around here. There couldn't have been.
Who wrote this?
I'm not at liberty to say. Will you write your address here, please?
Shall I?
Yes.
But I want to know who did this. Who sent that note?
Shall we say it was a man who, for the moment, played God? Good luck to you, sir.
Ed!
$1,000! Who did it? Who?
Ed, I prayed to God, and he heard me. He heard me. Oh, no.
She prayed for it. She prayed for help, and she thinks that God, at last they've got a good joke on him. I wonder, has he the laugh on me?
Pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. The curtain falls on the second act of The Man Who Played God. And following this short intermission, George Arliss continues in Act 3. The awards of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences are given each year for outstanding achievement in acting, directing, writing, photography, and the many other arts and sciences that enter the making of a film. A few days ago, the gold statue proclaiming him the outstanding director of 1937 went to Mr. Leo McCarey, director of Columbia Studios' exquisite comedy, The Awful Truth. Mr. McCarey's genius for comedy is mixed with a rare appreciation of pathos and drama. For after directing Eddie Cantor, Harold Lloyd, Laurel and Hardy, and the Marx Brothers, Leo turned round and gave us Ruggles of Red Gap. And more recently, that tear-stained documents of parents and children make way for tomorrow. Welcome, Leo, and congratulations. All great directors like to talk, Leo, so begin.
I'd rather hear the third act of Mr. Arliss' play.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we want to know something about you. How did you get your start in film?
Well, CB, to tell you the truth, when I started directing, I tried to pattern myself after you. I'll never forget the first big mob scene. The crowd made me nervous, but I decided to handle them with a firm hand, like you would do it, Mr. DeMille. The scene was supposed to be the San Francisco earthquake.
Oh, excuse me, Leo, but San Francisco people refer to it as the fire.
Well, I'm from Los Angeles. The scene was the San Francisco earthquake. I climbed the platform and started explaining the scene to the crowd. On the first signal, I said, I want the crowd to rush in from out of the buildings, from the buildings on the left. As I said this, a little fellow raised his hand far in the rear. Don't interrupt me, I said. Kindly wait until I've finished. I'm sure that's the way you would have handled it, Mr. DeMille.
Yes, that's probably the way I'd have handled it.
Then I continued. On the second signal, I want another crowd to run in from the right. And again the little man raised his hand. Quiet, I ordered. I asked you to wait until I was through. I'm sure that's the way you would have handled it, Mr. DeMille. Now I had absolute quiet. I was the master of the situation, and I felt it. I completed my instructions and sent for the little man. Now, what is it that you wanted to say that could possibly be more important than what I wanted to say to 350 people? He looked me over from my helmet to my puttees and replied, I only wanted to tell you that we couldn't hear a thing back there.
I'd have handled that with a megaphone.
Well, that's what I thought, so I got one. But I'll be darned if the same little man didn't raise his hand again. Completely out of patience, I asked, what is the matter now? He says, well, I was in San Francisco at the time of the earthquake. It happened to be 5 o'clock in the morning, and don't you feel that most of us would be wearing nightgowns?
And?
I call lunch. I'm positive that's the way you would have handled it, Mr. DeMille.
Oh, thank you, Leo. Lunch has saved many a delicate situation. Now for the awful truth. Directing that picture must have been almost as much fun as seeing it.
Well, it didn't start out as smoothly as you might imagine.
No?
No, I'm sure Irene Dunn would have been happier if the starting date had been postponed. Cary Grant arrived on the set with his manager and suggested that his part either be built up or cut out. Even an extra man came to me and said, I just read the script, Mr. McCary, and if you don't mind, keep me in the background, will you?
But that dog you had in the picture, that clever wire-haired terrier.
You mean Mr. Smith?
Yes, at least he was your friend, wasn't he? He didn't complain about his part.
Well, he didn't say anything. He bit me. But don't get the impression that the cast was wrong, because as a matter of fact, they were very right. I sent out a hurried call for the writer, Vina Delmar, and all during the making of the picture, she worked day and night developing the story. Many of the suggestions we used came from Irene Dunn and Cary Grant, and I mustn't forget Ralph Bellamy. And the only thing that would make me happier would be if I could make another picture written by Vina Delmar with the same 3 stars.
Well, you've given us some highly hilarious scenes, Leo. In your own opinion, which is the most memorable in your career?
Well, the scene that stands out in my memory was anything but humorous, C.B. It was Ruggles of Red Gap, and the scene in which Charles Lawton recites Lincoln's Gettysburg Address.
It's still referred to as one of the finest moments on the screen. You deserve a world of credit.
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, you see, Mr. Lincoln wrote it, and Mr. Lawton spoke it. I just enjoyed it.
Well, during 20 years in pictures, Leo, you must have acquired some peculiar habits or superstitions that might be very interesting.
Oh, yes, C.B., I do have a superstition. Just one, and it's terrible. I can't seem to overcome it.
Well, what is it?
Well, I'm superstitious about making bad pictures. I just sort of feel they don't do anyone any good. Well, so long, C.B., and congratulations on your fine program and your excellent product.
You make a pretty good product, too. The curtain rises on Act 3 of The Man Who Played God, with George Arliss, Florence Arliss, and Dolores Costello. In the loneliness of his room, high above the park, Monty has made his peace with God by reading the lips of those less fortunate and giving them aid. It's a few weeks before Christmas, and Monty kneels in the center of the room unpacking a crate of toys, singing as he works. Battle enters and stands beside him.
Hello, Battleaxe.
Getting ready for Christmas, sir?
Well, what if I am?
Singing, too.
Was I? Well, I never had any voice, you know, and I always wished I could sing like Groucho, and now I can.
Can you, sir?
In my own estimation, yes. I sing, and I can't hear a sound, so I imagine I'm singing like Groucho. It's a great thing sometimes not to be able to hear. Well, were the children in the park pleased with the toys I sent them?
Didn't you watch them through the glasses?
It's rather a lark, isn't it, Battle?
It's a great work you're doing, sir.
Oh, no, not great. Just a lark. But I've got a grand idea. I'm going out.
Going out?
Yes. I thought it all over. I'm not going to be a hermit anymore.
Shall I get your hat, sir?
No, not now. Christmas.
Christmas?
You see, Miss Grace is coming back.
Is she, sir? I'm glad.
Yes. Seems too good to be true. Well, at Christmas, I'm going with her into all sorts of toy shops. And I'm going to watch the children and find out just what they want. I shall be on the inside of the shop, you see, and they'll be outside looking through the window, and I can read their lips. And then you take the toys out to them. It's a good idea, Battle?
It's a beautiful idea. A beautiful work, sir.
Nonsense. The work will be yours. You see, you'll have to carry the toys. Don't go yet. Sit down, Mildred. Here, let me make you comfortable.
Why, I believe you're really glad to see me.
I am.
But you're so changed. What's happened to you, Mark?
I'm living again, Mildred, and I'm having the time of my life.
Grace comes home today, doesn't she?
Yes. You know, Mildred, I used to think I could only bring her misery, but now I'm very happy.
What has changed you, Monty?
These.
Those field glasses?
Yes. I've learned things up here with the stars. Things that I never dreamed of.
What things?
The doubts and fears are only shadows. For long months I shut my eyes, and in the darkness I railed against God. I cursed and hated and cried out in defiance. And when my hatred was most bitter, he answered and sent me these.
You look up there and read the stars.
No. I look down there in the park and read their lips. I hear the despairing cry of those who suffer and doubt, as I suffered and doubted.
And you answer their call.
Yes, I take a hand. You see, I'm so close to God up here that he's taken me into partnership. Come out here, Mildred, and see my roof garden. See down there? Those people in the park? They were only strangers to me once. Shadows I passed and never noticed. But I'm close to them now. I know their hopes and their fears, their happiness and their misery. They need comfort and help.
And you give it to them.
Well, I do what I can. It's little enough.
Monty, there's something sublime about this.
Only business of its kind on earth. Absolute monopoly.
It's been your salvation.
My salvation. Through God. It was he who did it, Mildred. Now, you must excuse me a moment. I must see if there are any more customers down there. These glasses are remarkable. I never get over the wonder of them. Here's a young couple coming round the park. The park's a great place for lovemaking, you know. Mildred.
Yes?
Who do you think it is?
Someone you know.
Grace. Grace, looking like one of the flowers. And young Van Allen with her.
Grace and Harold? Let me look.
Wait a minute. What a stunning frock she has on. And the very latest thing in hat. I tell you what she's saying.
Monty, give me those glasses.
Don't snatch. Be careful of them.
Don't spy upon her. Talk to me until she comes in.
Spy upon her? What do you mean?
Nothing.
You're frightened. What is it?
I told you. Nothing. Well, it seems like looking through the keyhole.
Mildred, I don't hear gossip, you know. Has there been any?
Don't talk nonsense.
Give me those glasses. If there's anything I should know, it's better to learn it this way.
Monty.
I'm going to read their lips. It's for her sake, too, you know.
Sit down, Grace, just for a moment.
I can't, Harold.
But I've got to speak to you. I've got to.
When I said goodbye at Santa Barbara, I told you that was the end. Why do you follow me to his door?
Because I know that when once you enter that house, you're lost to me.
I flung myself at him when he was well and famous. I can't desert him now.
You've no right to gamble your whole life away just because of one rash promise.
It's no use, Harold. I can't leave him like this. I can't.
But you're leaving me, and you love me. You do love me.
You know I do.
Well, then don't ruin our happiness just because you're sorry for him. Go and tell him you've changed your mind.
Harold, I'm going through with it. He's been cheated of so much, I'm not going to cheat him now. He's put his faith in me, and I won't be a quitter.
Grace, dear, I won't argue anymore. But don't leave me yet. Sit here with me, please, just for a little while.
Monty, look at me, please.
You knew this, Mildred? That she loved him all the time?
I wasn't sure. But you see, they're both young, and I was afraid.
Yes? Oh, they're both young. I've been very foolish. But she was always so dear to me.
Does it hurt terribly?
It hurts terribly.
I'd better go. She'll be coming up here.
Yes. I wonder what God would do in a case like this.
And then we had a barbecue dinner, and I cooked the steaks. Monty, you're not interested.
Of course I am, Grace.
You've hardly said 2 words to me since I came. You just sit and look at me. What is it, Monty?
I have to look at you, to understand you, to read your lips.
What did you do while I was away?
Nothing. Everything.
Lawrence tells me you changed your mind about the organ. You gave it to the church after all.
Yes.
Monty, what's the matter? Aren't you glad I've come back?
Yes.
You haven't told me so.
Perhaps I was waiting to see if you had anything to tell me.
But I've been trying to tell you.
I mean, about Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara. Oh, there's nothing to tell about that. The usual round.
Nice people there?
Hmm?
Anybody we know?
Mainly their Western friends. And, oh, yes, Harold Van Allen, of course.
Yes, of course.
But let's talk about ourselves. You know you haven't even kissed me. That's better. Monty.
What?
You made a compact with me. I've come to hold you to your promise.
Must you, Grace?
Monty.
Our compact was made 6 months ago. It's a long time.
But I gave you my word. I mean, you gave me your word.
I'd like to break my word.
Monty, why?
Because you have such a beautiful nature that I don't want to lose you as a friend.
I don't know what you mean.
Something has happened to change me.
When?
Today.
What is it? Who is it?
You.
Me? But how?
You remember these?
My field glasses?
You remember you left them behind. Well, they turned out to be fairy glasses. By looking through them, by looking at people in the park, I can see everybody's life just as it is. Everybody's thoughts just as they are.
Monty.
Don't be frightened. I saw you in the park, Grace.
You read our lips.
Yes. Puts me in a pretty bad light, doesn't it? Eavesdropping. But you see, I wasn't quite prepared for what I was to hear.
Monty, you don't think I've been deceiving you, do you?
No, dear. You've just been deceiving yourself.
I did love you. I do love you.
Grace, since I've been living up here, close to the sky, I've learned many things. Things that hurt me, but left me spiritually better. It was music that brought us together. You know that, don't you?
Yes.
It was a love founded on perfect harmony, but we never looked ahead. Our love was music. But you see, dear, a string snapped, and the music ceased.
Not altogether, Monty. You'll always be my idol.
I shall always be your friend. Goodbye. You behaved like a gentleman, Grace, and perhaps I admire you more than I could ever have loved you.
Monty.
Goodbye, my dear.
I'm beginning to be worried, Mrs. Miller. He said he was going for a walk in the park among his customers, as he calls them. But I expected him back.
Do you think he might have gone to look at the organ?
He might. He's often said he meant to sneak in one day.
Thank you, Bethel. I'll go to the... Oh, God, send him peace. Send him happiness. Give him strength. It's Monty. Monty!
Mildred, I'm so glad. I came to see the organ.
I did, too. And to pray for something, Monty.
What?
That you might be the first to touch the keys, to play upon it.
No, I can't. I couldn't stand it.
It's there, Monty, in the loft. May I go up with you?
Fine organ. Grand.
The last time you played, it was for a king. This inscription says, to the glory of God. Won't you play for a king again?
Sit beside me, Mildred. Don't leave me, please.
Won't you play?
Yes. For the king.
So ends The Man Who Played God. We'll hear again from Mr. Alice in a moment. A while back, there was a wave of interest, you all remember, on the subject of child marriages. The question arose, what is actually the age of the average bride in this country? Melville Ruick has an answer for you.
Here are figures based on 60,000 marriages in a large eastern state. The average age of marriage for girls was 22. 65% of the brides were under 25. Of course, these figures don't tell the whole story. For as everybody knows, women who are truly charming can marry at almost any age. Charm counts a lot more to a man than how old a woman is, how well educated, or how much money she spends on herself. For example, no man knows how much a woman's dress costs. He does know if it's becoming and dainty and charmingly feminine. Undoubtedly, that's why charming women the world over are Lux users. For Lux Flakes are made to keep your frocks just that way, to keep the colors and the fabric fresh and new looking. You can count on these gentle flakes to care for anything that's safe in water alone, and to keep it beautiful an extra long time. To guard charm, use Lux Flakes. Now, our producer.
Our debt to Mr. Alice extends beyond his superb performance. He expected to leave for Hollywood this week to return abroad, but altered his plans in order to be with us tonight. I'm sure, Mr. Arliss, that I speak for all your listeners in wishing you and Mrs. Arliss bon voyage.
Very kind of you. Thank you, Mr. Miller. The broadcast of Disraeli on this stage brought me a large number of very charming letters. Very many from middle-aged and elderly people to whom it recalled pleasant associations of their earlier life. About 25 years since I first played it. My wife and I were very gratified to find that the broadcast was able to bear comparison with the stage production. I had one letter of a more personal character from a very young lady who said that her mother didn't care for her to go to the theater, but she always allowed her to see my pictures because I was married to Mrs. Arliss. Of all the response from the film version of The Man Who Played God, the most satisfying was from a group of deaf people who for the first time learned from the picture of lip reading. They studied it, and they wrote to me and said that it opened to them a new and happy life. If our play tonight has given you entertainment, I shall feel very happy. If it has brought to you something a little beyond mere entertainment, I shall feel still more gratified. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Arliss. There's wonderful news of next week's stars and play coming to you in just a moment from Mr. DeMille. But first, may I say that in our cast tonight were Ivan Simpson as Battle, Elizabeth Risden as Florence Royal, Leonard Willey as Mr. Appleby, Evelyn Keyes as Girl in the Park, Reginald Sheffield as Boy in the Park, Vernon Steele as the King, Frank Nelson as Harold, Michelet Burani as Madame Louvel, Charles Evans as Usher, Louis Merrill as a manager, James Eagles as aide to King, Edith Nestier and Lou Lorraine as French girls, and Elizabeth Wilbur and Georgia Kane. Louis Silvers appeared through courtesy of 20th Century Fox Studios, where he directed music for their new picture, Sally, Irene, and Mary. And now, here's Mr. DeMille. A week from tonight, the Lux Radio Theater will echo to the unforgettable melodies of Victor Herbert. Sweet Mystery of Life, Falling in Love, and Italian Street Song, all of which tells you that our play will be that tremendous success of stage and screen, Naughty Marietta. Making special trips from New York to be with us are two of the greatest and most popular singers heard today in Grand Opera, motion pictures, and on the air, Mr. Lawrence Tibbett and Miss Helen Jepson. Naughty Marietta is a dramatic play of old New Orleans. Miss Jepson will be heard as the runaway French countess, and Mr. Tibbett as the reckless American soldier. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Flakes, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents Lawrence Tibbett and Helen Jepson in Victor Herbert's immortal romance, Naughty Marietta. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood. The announcer has been Melville Lewis. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is clock. C-L-O-C-K.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, for the very first time on You Bet Your Life, we're going to tell you about what we think is the most beautiful car ever built, the distinguished 1953 DeSoto. This magnificent new DeSoto is now on display at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Be sure and listen later in the show for news of the beautiful 1953 DeSoto. And here he is, the one, the only...
Nice fella, knew him well. Oh, that's me. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples. If any of them say the secret word, the duck here will come down and pay him $100.
We invited some firemen to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. Robert Reeder. His partner is a woman with an unusual occupation, Mrs. Greta Magnuson Grossman. Folks, would you please come in and meet Groucho Marx?
Well, welcome. Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Greta Grossman, huh?
That's right.
And Mr. Reeder, you're a fireman, huh?
Yes, sir.
Where are you from there? Smoky Mountains?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas, huh? Greta Magnuson, huh? Grossman.
That's right.
Where are you from?
Helsingborg, Sweden.
Could you talk a little louder? I don't think they can.
Helsingborg, Sweden.
Oh, well, that means nothing to me. Where is
That's opposite Helsingør, Denmark.
Oh, now I know exactly where it is.
I'm sure you do. Hamlet was born, came from there. Yeah.
Oh, that's where Hamlet came from.
Yeah.
I thought Hamlets came from piglets.
Oh, that kind, yes. But the famous one, I mean.
Oh, the famous Hamlet. You mean to be or not to be? That is the question.
You said it.
Well, not originally. Shakespeare said it. Greta, I take it you're from Sweden, huh?
Yes, I am.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
You have any little smorgasbord at home?
No, only the ones we eat.
Now, Smoky Stover, let's talk to you. Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Some fireman. You burned your own bridges behind you. How long have you been a fireman?
About 3.5 months.
Oh, you're just a rookie, huh?
Yes, sir.
Do they let you fight the fires yet, or do they just let you play with matches?
No, they let us fight fires, and when we're not fighting fires, we go out on fire prevention once a week.
Now, do you learn how to be able to rush to a fire in a hurry?
Yes, you do. You have to jump out of bed in a sound sleep, put on your clothes, and get on the fire truck, and your siren going, you're out of there in about 30 seconds.
You get out of the firehouse in 30 seconds,
About 30 seconds.
You mean that's if somebody sets fire to the firehouse?
Well, they usually have a long ring, and then you know it's a fire.
Now, Greta, let's get back to you. Fenneman says you have an unusual occupation. What is it?
I'm an industrial designer. I design furniture and lamps, fixtures, and pottery, and textiles, and houses.
Well, you got a good job. Anytime you get tired, you just take out your pencil and draw up a chair.
I do, all the time.
Now, what kind of furniture do you design?
I design modern furniture, and I sketch them and do the full-scale drawings ready for production.
That's very nice. Now, how about you, Smokey? Do you find all this talk about furniture pretty dull?
I think it's very interesting.
Oh, I forgot you're a fireman. Chop, chop, huh? Which furniture do you find easier to smash, the modern or the conventional?
Well, neither one. Actually, our job is to protect all the furniture in a house during a fire.
You mean you just carry that big axe around to open a can of beer?
Especially for ventilating.
Well, I'd like to continue talking to you two, but now it's time for you to win some money. In just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,000 question. Folks, this is a big night on You Bet Your Life. Tonight, we're introducing for the first time the distinguished new 1953 DeSoto. As a DeSoto owner from a way back, I can honestly say this 1953 DeSoto is the most beautiful car I've ever seen. Don't you think so, George?
Indeed it is, Groucho. Friends, I'd like you to try and picture the stunning new DeSoto. Close your eyes and imagine a sparkling new grille, gracefully leading to the beautiful and practical air vent hood. Now look down the hood until you come to DeSoto's huge new one-piece curved windshield with its tremendous area of distortion-free vision. Now come to the rear and see the truly dramatic sweep of the wide one-piece curving rear window. Look at the beautifully luxurious lines of its longer swept-back fenders and lower, wider deck lid. On the inside, the distinguished 1953 DeSoto is a magnificent blend of fashionable nylon upholstery and glamorous trim. But to fully appreciate it, you must see it. It is available in two great series, the mighty 160-horsepower Fire Dome V8 and the brilliant Powermaster 6.
Folks, this distinguished new 1953 DeSoto is now on display at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. So go see him tomorrow. And when you do, tell him Groucho sent you. All right, now let's see how you work together as a team. Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected foreign cities located on rivers. That right? Here's your first question. How much will you bet? And talk right up.
$19.
Do you think that's all right?
Right.
It's okay with me.
Okay, 19.
All right. The Russian city of Stalingrad is located on what river?
Volga.
That's right, the Volga.
Well, off to a good start. You have $39.
How much have they got?
$39.
$39. Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, how much of this sum will you bet this time?
38.
Okay.
All right. And what river is the city of Vienna located?
Oh, don't know. Danube.
Danube, that's right, the Blue Danube.
You now have $77.
And here's your third question. How much of the 77 are you going to try?
76.
Okay. The Chinese city of Nanking is on what river?
Yangtze.
The Yangtze is right.
You've now climbed to $153.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 153 are you going to risk?
All of it.
All of it.
Good.
On what river do you find the city of Cairo, Egypt?
The Nile.
The Nile is right.
And you'll wind up with $306.
Put it there, kid. You're a very bright couple, huh? Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Well, Groucho, just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a junior high school girl, Miss Leslie Ann Green. Her partner is a businessman, Mr. R.P. Knoll. And here they are. Folks, please come in and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome. Welcome, kids, to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. A businessman and a schoolgirl, eh? Now, let's see. Leslie Ann Green, is that you? You have the schoolgirl complexion, so I guess you're the schoolgirl, huh? Real peaches and cream, isn't she, yeah? And Mr. Knoll, I don't mean to say you haven't got a schoolgirl complexion.
Thank you.
Only it's more like peaches and yogurt. How old are you, Leslie?
13.
13, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is your age, Mr. Knoll?
52.
52, huh? What's your first name, Mr. Knoll?
Raleigh.
Really?
No, Raleigh.
You realize, of course, that we can be sued by Abbott and Costello. How do you spell it?
R-O-L-Y.
Oh, Roly. And you pronounce it Roly?
Yes, sir.
I'll just call you Roly-Poly, huh? Where are you from, Raleigh?
Sedalia, Missouri.
Really? No, Raleigh. Well, what's your hometown, Leslie?
Well, I was born right here.
Funny, I didn't notice it. A lot of strange things go on around this show. What sort of work do you do, Roly?
I'm a senior partner in the firm of Noel Beckendorf and Company.
Is that so? Well, congratulations. I must say I never heard of it.
That's not surprising.
What kind of a racket are you running?
We don't run a racket, Groucho. We're a firm of insurance managers, in which we set up insurance programs, manage company facilities, operate production agencies, operate a brokerage department, and carry on high-level conferences with various business executives about their insurance programs and otherwise.
Do they understand what you're talking about?
I always hope so.
I never understand what an insurance man talks about. The minute they start with, well, the 20-year endowment means that in the 13th year, you get $338 if you haven't died in the meantime, unless you have fire and theft and collision. By this time, my eyes are glazed or I'm tight asleep. Now, let's get back to you. What school do you attend, Raleigh? Nolly? Leslie, huh?
Emerson Junior High.
Emerson Junior High. Why did they call it Emerson? Was it named after Benjamin Franklin?
No, Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Has anything unusual happened to you at school, such as getting there on time?
Well, one time in school, there was some boys in the class, and they were making some funny noises with their mouth, and so...
Well, like what?
Well, they were going like this. And so they taught me how to do it, and so one time...
I think you do it very well. Would you give us a little more of that, Leslie? How do you do it? I'd like to learn that.
So the teacher...
Let me see. How do you do that, huh? Try it, Noel. Try it. You may quit the insurance business.
I'll see if I can master that, Groucho.
There's a fortune in this if you can get it done. Let's all do it together, huh? Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Is this going to be mystifying on radio, huh? Oh, that's very good. You've certainly learned. You've spent your time well. And you have much to do with the boys in school?
Well, no, because the teacher keeps her eye on us pretty much, and so we don't have too much to do with them.
I see. That's unfortunate, huh? How about on the way to school?
Well, the boys have their buses, and then the girls have theirs.
Why is it necessary to put the boys in one bus and the girls in another bus? What a ridiculous question.
The boys start showing off in front of the girls, and they start fighting, and it makes the bus driver nervous.
Well, why should the bus driver be nervous? Doesn't he carry a revolver? Mr. Knoll, will you try that noise once more? Let's see you do it.
I'm getting better.
Say, you could go to high school with it. Now, Leslie, since you're here, maybe you can reassure some of the people of my generation who are a little doubtful about today's teenagers. What's your opinion of today's youngsters?
Oh, they have nothing to worry about.
A guarded statement, if I ever heard one. How do you spend your evenings, for example?
Oh, we have about 2 hours of homework and then watch TV.
And I don't need to worry, eh? Is my program popular with the intelligent, charming, younger set?
Well, I guess so, because all the boys go around wiggling their eyebrows like this the way you do.
Well, now I know why they have boy buses and girl buses. Well, you're a lovely couple, and I'd like to see you win a reasonable sum of money here tonight. You beat our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the $1,000 question. I can't tell you how much you have to win, but Mr. Fenneman is going to remind our listeners.
Greta Grossman and the fireman won $306, and the secret word is clock.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected initials of familiar organizations. Is that right? And you talk it over before you give me any answers on any of these questions. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
$19.
All right. What do the initials CIO stand for? Talk it over.
CIO.
Take a stab if you don't know.
I don't know.
Well, time's up. Could I get the cameraman to give me the answer to this one? Congress of Industrial Organizations.
Oh, boy. You now have $1.
All right. Remember, you don't get discouraged now. Remember, you're going in for $1,000 tonight. How much of this buck are you going to bet this time?
All of it?
We might as well bet it all.
Okay.
All right. What do the initials WCTU stand for?
Women's Christian Temperance Union.
Women's Christian Temperance Union.
That's right. That's right. Now you got $2. Here's your third question. How much of the $2 you going to go for?
You might as well shoot the word.
All right. All of it. What do the initials FCC stand for?
FCC, Federal Communications Commission.
That's right, Federal Communications. It's your last chance to beat the other couples. You have $4. How much you going to bet?
All of it.
All right. What do the initials AMA stand for?
American Medical Association.
That's right. That's right. I'm sorry, nobody leaves here with $8. I'm going to give you one more question to bring it up to $25. And please, no coaching. Are you ready? Around what holiday do you receive Christmas cards?
Christmas.
Christmas is right. Thanks and good luck to the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Well, Groucho...
Welcome, youngs. Oh, you haven't...
No, wait a minute. Groucho, we have...
Welcome, youngsters.
We have an engaged couple for you now, Groucho.
Yeah, well, you lucky fellow, you.
Miss Genevieve Capri and Mr. Donald W. Armstrong, come in and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Let's see now. Genevieve, how do you pronounce that?
Capri.
Capri, that's a very pretty name. And Donald Armstrong, huh? That's a pretty name, too, isn't it? I don't want you to feel bad. I think that's a lovely name. Where are you from, Don?
I'm a native.
You're a native? Well, you should have a ring in your nose. How do you like living in California?
I think it has everything.
Well, not quite. We haven't got King Farouk. Where are you from, Genevieve? Oh, Genevieve, sweet Genevieve.
I'm from Williamstown, about 15
Where?
miles. Williamstown, New Jersey. It's about 15 miles.
Spell it.
Williamstown.
Now pronounce it.
Williamstown.
What happened to the L's? You knocked the L's out of that word. Can't you say Williamstown? Try it.
Williamstown.
No wonder she moves. She can't pronounce it.
Williamstown.
Is that why you left Williamstown? Where do you live now?
Glendale.
Glendale. You said you lived in some weird places, haven't you, Jenny? Why did you come to California from Philadelphia? You want
I didn't.
You want to be with a pennant winner?
No, I didn't really come exactly straight from Philadelphia to Glendale.
You can, you know.
Yes. Well, I went by. I went to New York, and then I went to Africa. I went to Siam and Bangkok and Calcutta.
Well, you see what happens when somebody talks to the motorman? Gets distracted, forgets to make a left turn in the right place. Before you know it, you're in Bangkok. Well, let's have it. Why did you come to Glendale by way of Calcutta? Was the bridge out in Kansas City? My bridge was out once in Kansas City. Luckily, I knew a local dentist there, and he fixed it.
So my foster father has been collecting animals all over the world, and I used to go with him.
This sounds like a fascinating business. Did he collect monkeys?
Yes.
Oh. Rascal, he's monkey business. Don, what is your age?
23.
23. And how old are you, Genevieve?
27.
Well, you're not only attractive, but you're also honest, aren't you? Most unusual. Where did you meet Genevieve, Don?
I met her in New Orleans.
In New Orleans? Yes. You certainly get around, Jenny.
I met her at the Ringling Brothers Circus. Both of us had gone.
Were you on exhibition there, Jenny?
No. Heavens, no.
He met you at a circus?
Yes.
How come?
We
What
had
were you
both
doing
gone
there?
to the circus to meet Dr. Henderson, the circus doctor. We both have a common interest in animals, and through the book that he had written, we decided to meet him.
What sort of work are you doing now, Genevieve?
I collect wild animals, bring them to America.
You're not Frank Buck, are you?
No, exactly. They do know me as Jungle Jenny in the animal world.
It doesn't seem possible that a wisp of a girl like you collecting animals, why, even I'm not afraid of you. By the way, what kind of animals do you collect? White mice?
I collect wild elephants, leopards, monkeys, pythons, boa constrictors.
You take one step nearer and I'll scream. Tell us about this wild animal collecting. How do you go about it?
Oh, I go to the foreign countries and contact native people there
Have you had any close calls in animal hunting? I know I've had many close calls in my hunting career.
There was
That was some years ago. Could you tell us about one big lie?
Well, this isn't a lie. I have
Well-
the scars to show the time when I was attacked by a black panther.
Oh, let's see. Oh, boy, you really did get clawed, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you capture the panther? Did you?
No, this animal was on board a ship, and the native people thought it was a tame one, but instead of being a tame one, they were letting out a black, ferocious one. So I ran to the cage and tried to rectify the error, and the animal's head and claw got caught by my force of this door down on the animal. And in doing so, it made him stronger than me, and he got his whole body out of the cage, and he turned like lightning and leaped for my throat. And I was just fortunate to have this board that I picked up that broke his leap at my throat, and he just knocked me down. And I thought, of course, he was going to continue running. Instead, he turned right back at me again, and I shoved my arm in his mouth, and then was when I thought that was it. And I thought, well, maybe if I relax, I would save my life, but if not, why, what's the difference? I was going to die anyway. And just then as I did relax, the animal leaped away from me.
Now, what was he doing while all this was going on? He was reading that book by the doctor. Probably smoking a big cigar on the side of the tent or something. Have you ever caught a cheetah?
No.
No?
No.
We caught a cheetah in a poker game last night. Plugged into a jelly. Don, apparently you got a fiancé who's lived dangerously. How about you? What sort of work do you do?
I sell water.
I imagine it's soft water, isn't it?
It's a special kind
You say
of
you
water.
sell water? What kind of water?
A special kind.
Well, it better be. What kind of water?
I sell sparkless drinking water, artesian well water.
In the jungle?
No, right here in Los Angeles, bottled by the Sparkless Drinking Water Corporation.
So you're around selling this sparkless water, and she's got her head in a leopard's mouth. Well, you're a nice couple, and I wish you lots of luck in your marriage, and also in the jungle. Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life. Run your $20 into more than our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the $1,000 question. I can't tell you how much you have to win, but George is going to remind our listeners.
Greta Grossman and the firemen still lead with $306.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected sciences ending in ology as your category. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
1975.
Ah. What is the science called that deals with both beneficial and harmful microbes?
Biology.
What do you say?
Oh.
All right, time's up. I'm sorry. Well, it's bacteriology.
I thought it was
Should have known that from the doctor's book.
You now have 25 cents.
You got 25 cents. Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight, and don't get discouraged. How much of your 25 cents you going to bet this time?
24.
24, all right. What is the science called that deals with the nerves and the nervous system?
Oh, all the ideologies I know.
Why did you pick this
Is that
category, Jenny?
kinesiology?
No, I'm sorry. This is neurology. Now you're down to 1 cent. Here's your third question. How much of the cent are you going to bet?
All of it.
Well, you're always on the cent in the jungle, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now you're on the cent here. What is the science called that deals with the life history of plants and animals?
Biology.
Biology is right. How much have they got, gentlemen?
Well, they wind up with 2 cents.
And this is only the third question.
Oh.
How much have they got?
Oh, they have 2 cents.
Well, keep your 2 cents out of this. It's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much will you bet? How much?
2 cents.
All right. What is the science called that deals with the skin?
All the ologies.
Take a stab if you don't know. Guess. Well, it's dermatology.
They went broke, Groucho.
Well, then nobody goes broke here. I'll give you one more question. Get this right, and you get $25. Are you ready? From what animal do we get mink coats? Minks is right. Why'd you take such a hard one?
I know so many ologies.
Well, we just picked the wrong one.
Well, Groucho, this couple lost all their money, so that means that Greta Grossman and the firemen with $306 in just 1 minute get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
Thanks and good luck to the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Right now, I'd like you to meet an attractive young lady with some news about a distinguished beauty.
This is Arlene Francis, and I want to tell you about what I think is the most beautiful new car ever designed. The distinguished, entirely new 1953 DeSoto, now on display at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. The 1953 DeSoto is really magnificent, beautiful from its huge, one-piece curved windshield to the truly dramatic sweep of its wide, curving rear window. Wait till you see the new DeSoto styling, with its longer, swept-back fenders and lower, wider deck lid. It's beautiful. Inside, the new 1953 DeSoto is a masterpiece, rich and luxurious. They've taken handsome nylon upholstery and set it off with glamorous, harmonizing trim. Yes, distinguished is the word for the new 1953 DeSoto. The distinguished 1953 DeSoto is available in two great series, the mighty 160-horsepower Firedome V8 and the brilliant DeSoto Powermaster 6. See them tomorrow.
Here's Greta Grossman and the firemen all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question, Groucho. Right in here.
All right, here's a chance for you to win enough money to get yourself a whole smorgasbord for the firehouse. This is for $1,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully and please no help from the audience. You ready? One of the biggest news stories of 1937 contained the sinking of an American gunboat by the Japanese. The Yangtze River incident threatened to plunge us into war. For $1,000, what was the name of this ill-fated gunboat? What's the answer you two have decided upon?
We wish we would know.
Well, I'm sorry. The correct answer is the Panay. So that P-A-N-A-Y. So that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, you lost the big money, but how much did they win the quiz, George?
$306 in the quiz.
That's not too bad. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Thank you.
Be sure to tune in again next week at the same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,500. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. Now displaying the most beautiful car ever built, the distinguished 1953 DeSoto. See the beautiful new DeSoto tomorrow. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks. And remember, see the 1953 DeSoto.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Condition your car for winter conditions. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
From the United States, for the Armed Forces of the United Nations, the Special Service Division of the War Department presents a delayed broadcast of one of America's most popular radio programs, The Red Skelton Show.
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Say, Red, I saw a motorcycle cop chasing you yesterday. Did he give you a ticket? Yeah, but I almost talked him out of it when suddenly he decided to put his foot on the running board.
But, Red, your car hasn't got any running board.
No, and the cop hasn't got any teeth either. But he let me go because I promised to sell some tickets for the 9th annual policeman show here in Los Angeles.
Yeah? Red, say, I've seen you hanging around the police quite a bit. Are you a deputy?
No. What's that badge you wear?
Well, I got that at the Palladium. It says, don't dance with this man. His big toes grabs your ankles.
Hello, anybody.
Yeah. Well, Ozzie Nelson.
Say, Ozzie, were you at the Palladium policeman's show last year? Oh, sure. And you should have seen the policeman's daughter I was with.
Pretty, huh?
Yeah, the only trouble was she was bald-headed.
You know, I like the dancing girl in the show.
Are you a good dancer?
Oh, sure. You should see me do the bunny hug.
Red, nobody does the bunny hugging.
I do. I got rabbit's feet.
Hi, Red.
Huh?
Say, I understand you're selling tickets to the policeman's show, huh?
Yeah, I've sold quite a few already, I keep telling the judge.
Say, Red, is it true that all cops have big feet?
I don't know, but I've seen the cop on our beat.
How about his feet? Are they big?
Well, did you ever see the Boulder Dam?
Yes.
Yeah, well, if Murphy stands on it, you don't. Say, did I ever tell you about the time some robbers got into my house?
No, Red, tell us about your uncle.
Well, I heard a noise, see, so I went to the head of the stairs and I said, "Who's there?"
What happened?
Well, the voice came back and says, "Nobody except us robbers." So I says, "Fine. Nobody's up here except us goose pimples."
Well, didn't the cops arrive, Red?
Yeah, but the robbers are already gone, so the cops arrested me.
Arrested you? What for?
Well, I was wearing... a chartreuse... I knew I shouldn't have tried that word. I was wearing a cerise pajamas. I was wearing cerise pajamas with maroon bottoms, and the cop says anybody wears an outfit like that must be breaking some kind of law.
The kids all called him Johnny Zero. In school they always used to say,
Johnny got a zero. Johnny got a zero. Johnny got a zero today.
The kids all laughed at Johnny Zero, and they would tease him when they'd play.
Johnny got a zero. Johnny got a zero. Johnny got a zero today.
Concentrate on study. His mind was always in the sky. When he grew up, he left his buddies, and Johnny learned how to fly.
And they still call him Johnny Zero. And all the pilots proudly say,
Johnny got a zero, he got another zero.
Johnny got a zero today. Johnny Zero is a hero today.
Johnny got a zero, he got another zero. Johnny got a zero, he got another zero.
Say, Red, what subject are we going to satire tonight?
Well, now that money's flowing around again, I think we should show some of the new rackets that have sprung up and how easy it is to be swindled. Did you ever see those pitchmen on 42nd Street in New York? They sell things on street corners. They can sell anything to anybody, any place. I met a couple while I was there.
Well, look who's here, old Rancidite McDougal.
I'm Mickey the Rat. Where you been for the past year?
Oh, here and there, hither and yon, to and fro, back and forth.
What you been doing, Mickey?
Take a gander at me peddler's back, will you?
Oh, gee, gold letters yet.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't make it out. What's it say?
Well, I was going to call your attention to the Old English letters.
Old English? What's that?
Well, that's like some of the regular letters, only but with a nervous breakdown.
Gee, it's like old times seeing you, Mickey.
Yeah.
I'm glad you ain't gone hi-hat.
Not me. Once the sidewalk moistened, always a sidewalk moistened.
Say, do you think you could still sell to the lowbrows?
Well, let's step into the doorway here and we'll make a little pitch.
Boy, this is something. A big shot working the old street again. It's like a big star making a personal appearance at Minsky's or something.
I understand that Minsky can't even make an appearance at Minsky's anymore.
Now, it's them politicians. You know, they're cleaning up the town, trying to give the people clean entertainment.
Did you hear what happened over at the Paramount? The curtain went up, the actors didn't get out on the stage quick enough, and they got fined $50.
What for?
They said the bare stage was a little too suggestive.
Say, Mickey, the crowd is getting thick here.
Yeah.
Shall we dispose of a few choice
Yeah,
articles?
open up the kit. You buy the first thing, make it interested for the rest of the crowd.
Oh,
sure. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll step in a little closer so that we don't block the sidewalk, I have something here absolutely free. Step back. Let those servicemen in, will you, please? Now, this is free, mind you. I ain't trying to sell you nothing.
It's free. What is it?
You're a little young, ain't you, brother? Step back. Let those servicemen in, will you, please? Don't push that lady, mister. It might be somebody's wife. She's my wife. That's what I said. Push her face in. Now, before I start giving away this valuable little article, I'd like to remind you that in sometimes crowds of this kind, pickpockets are found. So if you keep your hands on anything that's worthwhile, straighten up, brother. Nobody's going to steal your shoes. Now, this cigarette case is genuine 14-karat solid gold nickel-plated tin. Not only is it a cigarette case, but a combination cigarette lighter with an extra thumb.
What's that for?
To strike the match on, stupid. Now, on top you find a bottle opener, a fingernail clip, and a compartment for old razor blades. Now comes the novelty part of this little masterpiece of craftsmanship. On one thin end of the thing, you find a small hole. Now, no one would ever suspect that it's there. Yet, when you hold it up to the light, it becomes very pleasing to the eye. Step right up here, brother. Take a look. Take a look. What do you see?
Gee.
Need I say more? Now, we're not allowed to sell this little article, so I'm giving them away absolutely free. With each one of these Idaho potato peelers, which sells for $1. Step back. Let those servicemen in, will you, please?
Hey, Jesus, the cops!
The cops? Friends, I'm sorry to say, but the lease on this doorway has expired. You servicemen, step back. Let us civilians out, will you, please?
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. On that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy, and hate. Woman needs man, and man must have his mate. On that you can rely. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by.
Have you ever noticed the strange things that happen to married couples as time goes by? For instance, the couple next door. Do you recall the year we met each other, dear?
Yes, I was 17 and shy.
17, you say, and shy. You were shy about 5 years as time went by.
Oh, come on now. You know that's not true.
I remember my first quarrel with you.
Yeah, you got mad and you threw a clock right at my eye.
I think I missed you, too, darn it.
Oh, yeah. I was much too quick. I ducked as the time went by.
Well, of course, my marksmanship improved later.
You're not kidding. Of course, we've had quarrels.
Oh, like a little lover's spat.
Oh, yeah, like the day you broke my arm. But what's a little thing like that?
Well, you had lipstick on your collar, and you couldn't find your hat.
Not my collar. It was my tie. It's still the same old story. A fight for love and glory. A case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers. Ouch! As time goes by.
Then we have Clem, the fellow from the country. He's always falling for anything that's shady, especially a tree. Well, here I am. Boy, what a beautiful day. The trees and the flowers and the sun's on the mountain. Why'd I have to come along and spoil the landscape? Oh, I feel alive. I feel so alive. Uh-oh, get low these fine-looking automobiles. Come on.
Howdy, young fella.
Howdy.
Is this the road to Vulture's Rest?
Yes, sir, paved all the way. Us taxpayers paid for it. But if that's where you're going, you better turn around. It's the other way.
No, don't go away. I want you to meet someone. Hey, Duchess, wake up and get a load of the goon here.
Howdy, handsome. You live around here?
Yeah, I got a farm, only 10,000 acres. It's just a small plot, just 50 by 100.
Come now, Bud. How could you get 1,000 acres on a plot 50 by 100?
No, it's very easy. You just pile them up on top of each other. I see you got New York license plates on your car. I just got back from the city myself.
Oh, did you like it?
Yeah, they got the most wonderful invention up there called a taxi cab. You get in, take you anywhere you want to go.
Well, sure, but you have to pay, don't you?
Hey,
Why, certainly.
I wonder if that's why them drivers kept beating my ears in on.
Hey, you're cute.
Oh, you're just saying that.
No. I bet you can make your Adam's apple go up and down, can't you?
Not only up and down, but sideways and around my head 3 times. Watch, I'll show you a little trick.
Hey, that's enough. Stop it.
Here.
Why not?
The brakes don't work.
Say, Duchess.
Boy, I was really going there for a minute.
Now, you just settle down there for a minute, Bud. And Duchess, let's take this sucker for a few bucks.
Okay, say, are you married?
No.
You got a girl?
I got a girl. Been courting her for 9 years.
9 years? Well, why don't you marry her?
I don't know. Too much fun courting, I guess. No, I don't want to get married. I'm too young.
Well, then we've got just the thing for you.
What's
It's called Father Hate Me Oil.
What is?
Well, I'll tell you, it's very simple. It's an oil that you put on like perfume, see?
Yes?
And her father gets a whiff of it, and from then on he hates you.
Oh, no, brother. He hates me enough as it is. Well, what about my girl? Will she hate me, too?
Oh, no. It works the opposite with her. She'll like you even more. It'll make you irresistible.
Oh, I've always wanted to be that way.
Well, now, I don't want to waste your time. If you want her father to make you marry her, it's okay with me.
Well, how much is it?
$50 a bottle.
$50 a bottle? What's it made out of? 6-hour passes? Hey, you better pull over. You're blocking the road there. Oh, pipe down, you old crummy, you.
Why, Clem?
Will be. You know, you came along just in time, DJ. This sharp character here is trying to cut his way into my pocket.
You better save your money, Clem.
Why?
Well, my pappy will explain why in words of one syllable and a shotgun.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he told me if we don't get married, he's going to blow your brain out.
He's going to have to be a pretty good shot, brother. Boy, my head'll be full of holes before he finds it, I'll tell you that.
Don't you really want to get married, Clem?
Sure, I want to die someday, too, but not now.
Well, I guess it's no sale, so we'll be on our way.
Now, wait a minute. I'll buy it. Wait till I get the money out of my shoes.
Okay.
You ain't got no shoes on.
I know, but I got zippers on my toes. There you are. $50.
$50? Why, Clem, you was going to buy a new plow with that money.
Yeah, looks like my fingernails will have to hold out another season, don't it?
Okay, Bud, here's your magic oil. So long.
Well, now I'm all set. You'll love me, but your father will never let me marry you because this will make him hate me this
Oh,
time.
Clem, that feller played you for a chump.
What?
He charged you $50 for something that's something. Look, this is Sylvan Simon hair oil.
Well, come on, let's catch up with him. I'll show him he can't fool no cadiddle hopper. Hop in the car. I'll drive. Oh, come on, car, faster. Faster. Oh, come on, car, faster. Are we gaining on them, Daisy June?
I don't think so, Clem. We're in reverse.
have a lady and her little boy. It's pretty hard to hoodwink these two, especially when Junior has his big ears open. So, Harriet, you be my mother, and I'll be the mean widow G-Man. Hey, Mummy.
Yes, Junior?
If I were to lay down in a mud puddle, would I catch me death of cold?
You certainly would.
Well, I didn't.
Oh, good heavens, look at you. Junior, why do you do such things?
Well, I don't know.
30 million kids in this country. Honestly, 30 million kids in this country, and I have to get you.
Quite a mess, ain't I?
Yes, you are. You're such a cute little baby, too.
I was?
I can see you now, lying there with my foot in your mouth.
Well, I bet you hate that sort, don't you, Mummy?
No.
Then why you go down to the zoo and throw rocks at the old bird?
Young man, you're sassy. You know what that means?
Yeah, spanking. You want the hairbrush? The stove lid's busted, you know.
Bend over. Now what do you say? I said, now what do you say?
Sure is a nice day for it. Oh, Mummy, please, I'll be good. Don't whip me no more, I'll be good, Mummy. Oh, please, don't whip me no more. I hope Betty Davis and Ida Lupino are listening. Boy, ain't I suffering.
Now, look, young man, you go up to your room and wash your face.
Okay. Hey, Mummy, is the soap upstairs?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'll wash downstairs then. Oh, somebody at the door, I will go. I will take me widow feet and pitter-patter to the door. Two toenails. Hello. Welcome to Murder, Incorporated. Hey, Mummy, look, there's a beer keg with legs on it.
Is your mother to home?
Hmm?
Is your mother to home?
Is my mother to home? You put them little old words anywhere, don't you? Yes, Mummy. Me Mummy is to home. Shall I call her? Oh, Mummy door.
Junior, who is that at the door?
I don't know. Some happy little blimp out here. Boy, he's already used up his 48 points. I can see that.
Junior, you mustn't make fun of people's size.
Oh, that's all right. I am a little fat.
Little fat.
I'm from the shipyard.
What are you, a dry dock?
Won't you come in?
Sure, all of you come in, please.
My name is Slim.
Boy, I bet the sort that brought you got bow-legged, boy. I bet
I'm the man in charge of naming new boats.
You tell.
Oh?
Now, for a few dollars to cover research purposes, so that we don't have any two boats the same name, we allow you to name a boat.
Do tell.
You can even use your own name.
Do tell. Name it after me. Name it after me, Mummy.
Why, do you think Stinker's a good name for a boat?
Well, you could use me middle name, Cutthroat. Boy, oh boy. Hey, Pop said that you got an airplane named after you.
What?
Spitfire.
Well, how much would this cost?
Just $25.
Well, here we go again. There goes Pop's new teeth money. Why out the window?
Oh, well, he can stick to liquid.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I know Pop pretty well, he'll do it, too.
Junior, you may go outside.
I may stay, too.
Outside.
Now, you let me stay or I will tell.
You'll tell what?
I'm going to tell everybody you used to be a chip girl in a gambling casino.
I was not.
Oh, no. Hey, Queenie, $5 worth of red and blue.
Okay, sucker, hurry back.
Now,
you get out of here, young man.
Okay, don't hit me. I'll go over here and pester this canary for a while. Boy, oh, boy.
Junior, don't stick your finger in that canary's cage.
Why not?
He might bite you and get poisoned or something.
Boy, is I bored. Nothing to do. I think I'll turn on the radio. I just press that little button here.
And with a large, sharp knife, he cut off her head and threw her body into the boiling oil.
Kid stuff.
Listen in again tomorrow. Will Uncle Harry strangle his wife?
Well?
Will Grandpa get pushed into the blazing furnace?
Yeah, that's the trouble with radio. No plot. Well, I got another station here.
So, friends, try Besco. It's healthy.
It is not.
It's made from whole wheat.
It is not.
It will make you big and strong.
Yeah, well, not.
It's the... Why are you heckling me?
Boy, there ain't nothing on this radio today. I'll try one more station.
This man is wanted by the police for swindling poor housewives out of their money by
good.
making them believe they will have their name on a boat.
Oh, Mummy, come here. Hey, you paid this man yet?
Why, no, dear. Mother's going to get it now.
Yeah, you're going to get it all right. Right in the neck. That's the way you're going to get it. Call the police. Ask for someone that don't know me, would you? I'll fix this guy here. Hello, Fatso. Like to see a junior commando trick?
Why, sure. What is it?
Well, it goes like this. Now, you stand on one foot. Now, I give you a good kick in the shin. Now, I'll dive in your widow middle with me, widow head. Boy, well upholstered, ain't you? Now, I will pull the rug you were standing on right from under you. You steal from my mummy, boy.
Oh, what are you doing?
Well, that guy was trying to cheat you, Mummy.
Cheat me?
Sure, come in. Let him do the radio.
So if a man comes up and tries to name a boat after you, call the police.
See?
But if a little fat man named Slim comes to your house, it's all right, because he is the authorized agent for this company.
You have just heard a delayed broadcast scheduled expressly at this time for the Armed Forces of the United Nations by the Special Service Division of the War Department of the United States of America.
Exciting news for Adventure on the Coast in Brazil brings you to captivating videos showcasing heart-pounding adventures, mouth-watering cuisine, and hidden gems of this incredible country. From bustling cities to tranquil beaches, our videos capture the essence of Brazil's beauty, experience the warmth of its people, the rhythm of its music, and the thrill of exploration. Click on the link in the description to find out more.
I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Old Time Radio Research Group for their remarkable efforts in preserving and archiving the captivating world of old-time radio programs. Their invaluable contribution allows us to step back in time and experience the magic of radio history firsthand. Their link is in the description below.